Hello students, in the last video we talked about poetic devices and today we are going to explore more poetic devices. So let's begin with the definition of poetic devices first. What are poetic devices? Poetic devices are tools used to enhance the beauty, meaning and emotional impact of poetry. They create vivid imagery, convey deeper meanings and evoke emotions in the reader. Actually, these poetic devices make poetry powerful and memorable. We have certain poetic devices like simile, metaphor, repetition, symbolism, personification, alliteration, enjambment and rhyme. We have taken up these poetic devices in the last video, so let's have a quick recap of the following ones. First is simile. Simile compares two things using the words like or as. Metaphor compares two unrelated things, typically by stating that one thing is another. And if we talk about repetition, it is repeating words, phrases, lines or stanzas. Now let's move ahead. We have alliteration. It is a repetition of the same letter sound across the start of several words in the line of a text. Now what is enjambment? Enjambment is when a line in a stanza does not end with the punctuation mark and continues on till the next line or a couple of lines. Now let's see what is personification. Personification is attributing human qualities or characteristics to non-human things such as inanimate objects, concepts or abstract ideas. And finally, what is symbolism? When a certain object, animal, image is used to express complex ideas, emotions, thoughts or a state of mind which is something other than its literal meaning, it is called symbolism. And today we are going to talk about the most important poetic device, that is rhyme. Students, when we think of poem, we think of rhyme. So actually, what is rhyme? So let's have a look. Rhyme can be defined as a repetition of similar sounds at the end of words. It actually creates musicality and rhythm and cohesion within a poem. Rhyme serves as a mnemonic device, making poems easier to remember. The rhyming words help to reinforce the theme in the reader's mind, aiding in retention and recollection. Now students, why rhyme? Now what is the use of rhyme? And do all poets use this poetic device rhyme? So let's have a look at this very simple and very famous poem, Palanquin Bearers by Sarojini Naidu. I am going to recite the first stanza and all of you listen to this poem very carefully. Here goes the poem. Lightly, oh lightly, we bear her along. She sways like a flower in the wind of her song. She skims like a bird on the foam of a stream. She floats like a laugh from the lips of a dream. Gaily, oh gaily, we glide and we sing. We bear her along like a pearl on a string. Now students, I am going to recite the similar stanza, but yes, I am going to rephrase the lines and just I request you to notice the change. So here goes the second stanza. Lightly, so lightly, we carry her on our way. She moves with the grace of a flower in the breeze of a melody. She glides like a bird on the surface of a stream's foam. She drifts like a chuckle from the lips of a reverie. Joyfully, so joyfully, we move and we sing. We carry her forward like a gem on a thread. Now students, do you realize the essence of this stanza is also the same, but something is missing? Yes, you guessed it right. The rhyme is missing. Thus, the importance of rhyme is highlighted through this example. Now students, that we have listened to two stanzas, let's identify the difference between these two stanzas. First one is that the meaning of the stanza remains the same, but there is something that is missing in the second stanza. The most important element of a poem is missing. There is no rhyme, hence no rhythm. Notice how the addition of rhyme transforms the poem, giving it a lyrical quality that draws us in and captivates our imagination. Rhyme brings poetry to life. Actually, it animates poetry, making it more vibrant and dynamic. And today we are going to explore something else, that is rhyming words, types of rhyme and rhyme scheme. So we'll talk about rhyming words first. Now what are rhyming words? Words that end with a similar sound are called rhyming words. And let's have a look at the examples. Moon and spoon. Both these words sound similar, hence this is a perfect pair of rhyming words. The second example is ball and fall. So this is another pair of rhyming words. Now we'll talk about types of rhyme. We are going to talk about three different types of rhyme: end rhyme, slant rhyme and internal rhyme. We'll take each in detail now. First of all is end rhyme. Now what is end rhyme? End rhyme is when the rhyming words occur at the end of lines of a poem, and it is the most common type of rhyme. So this is the example, a very famous poem, Macavity the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. Macavity is a mystery cat. He is called the hidden paw, for he is the master criminal who can defy the law. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. So students, if you see the highlighted words, the last word of the first line paw rhymes with the last word of the second line law. And these words occur at the end of the lines. Therefore, this is a perfect example of end rhyme. Second example, we have despair and there. Obviously, these rhyming words occur at the end of the lines. Hence, this is an example of end rhyme. Moving ahead, we have slant rhyme. Now, what is slant rhyme? A slant rhyme is a type of rhyme in which words have similar but not exact sounds. These rhymes are also known as imperfect, half or near rhymes. They are not perfect rhymes. In this kind of rhyme, the rhyming words do not sound identical. They only sound half similar. Hence, they are called half rhyme. So let's see this example. This is a poem, Hope by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. We can see these words that are highlighted, soul and all, are somewhat rhyming, but they are vaguely similar in sound. So this is an example of slant rhyme. Moving ahead, we have internal rhyme. Now what is internal rhyme? This is a type of rhyme in which the rhyme occurs within a single line of a poem. Hence the name internal. It creates a rhythmic effect and enhances the musicality and flow of the poem. So here goes the example. This is a poem, The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. In the first line, you will see this word dreary rhymes with the word weary. So this exists in the similar line, in a same line. Hence, this is an example of internal rhyme. Now students, we have talked about rhyming words, types of rhyme. Now let's explore the rhyme scheme. Now what is a rhyme scheme? Rhyme scheme is a particular formula or a structure of rhyming. So what is rhyme scheme? Rhyme schemes are patterns of rhyme used when writing a poem. When describing the pattern, we use letters of the alphabet like A, B and C. Actually, these are like the blueprints that guide the flow of the poem. From the classic A-A-B-B-A pattern of a limerick to the intricate A-B-A-B-C-D-C-D-E-F-E-F-G-G structure of a Shakespearean sonnet, rhyme schemes help shape the rhythm and tone of the poem. Now let's have a look at this example, Daffodils by William Wordsworth. I'll recite the poem for you and then we'll identify the rhyme scheme. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over hills and vales, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Now students, if we see, the last word of the first line is cloud and it rhymes with the last word of the third line, that is crowd. So I'll write for cloud A, and for crowd also A, because these are rhyming words. Moving on to the second line, we have word here hills, and the last word of the fourth line is daffodils. Obviously these words are rhyming, so I'll write hills as B and for daffodils again B. Now the fifth line is beside the lake beneath the trees, and the last word is trees, that rhymes with the last word of the last line, breeze. So I'll write C for trees and again for breeze, C. So if you're asked to identify the rhyme scheme of this particular stanza, it would be A, B, A, B, C, C. So just to recap students, today we have done rhyme, the importance of rhyme, rhyming words, types of rhyme, and also how rhyme animates poetry. So students, here comes the most interesting part of the video, task time. You are supposed to read these 3 questions and identify the type of rhyme. I'm sure you would be easily able to do these questions. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of rhyme in poetry. Happy writing and happy rhyming. Thank you. Happy learning.